Hey guys, this is James from TeaDB bringing you InBetweenIsode number 70. So today I am reviewing another tea club. So this was kindly sent to me by the Global Tea Hut people. So doing just a quick review on their club. Their club's a little bit different than the Yunnan sourcing and white tea clubs, which are primarily focused around tea. So you get a magazine. And so you can see it's pretty well done, honestly. There's a lot of articles. There's probably 6 or 7 in here. This edition, the January edition, talks about aging oolongs, some of the tea of the month. They also send you a small amount of tea. This is not a tea club that you want to be doing because of the tea or because you want really good value on the tea. This is a club that you should be doing if Global Tea Hut and what they're doing out there in Taiwan resonates with you, if you like things in sort of written form, and if you like that sort of writing style that they have. So right now I'm going to be drinking some Dongding that they sent. So one cool thing about them is that their content seems to really focus around the tea that you sent. So if you're into like just learning about the different teas and stuff like that, having a couple sessions and reading alongside of it, I think it's a cool idea. So this is I think what they call an old Man Dongding. I've already given it preheated my vessel and given it a rinse. So sweet vegetal notes coming off of it right now. The leaves themselves are large, they're pretty good looking. Looks like generally good picking standards and whatnot. And so one of the things that they talk about in this episode or in this magazine is just the possibility of aging oolongs. They talk a little bit about Hong Shui or the red water oolongs. Global Tea Hut, to talk a little bit about them, they are a actual location based in Taichung. They're an organization. I do believe that they do have a somewhat spiritual focus on tea, so whether or not that resonates with you, I'm sure really depends on the person. So that's just something to know for sure. But one thing that's for certain is that Aaron Fisher, or Wu De, as I think he's referred to in a lot of these, definitely does know his tea. And so especially in terms of like old pu'ers and stuff like that, so I know that a few of the past ones have gotten like Lu Bao, some fresh pu'er. I'm not sure if they've done really any aged pu'er or anything like that, but a lot of the topics are focused around that. And I know that he has a lot of connections around the Taiwan area as well. So some of the past publications that he's done, I don't know about for this magazine, have focused a lot around like a lot of different players as far as old pu'er in Taiwan, Taipei, Taichung. Sweet, a little bit even more vegetal after that one. Cheers, guys. It's just got like a dense, sweet, sort of acorny sweetness to it, form to it. Decent body for an oolong. A little bit of vegetalness on the finish there. And so this magazine, the Global Tea Hunt subscription, is really how they fund their house. So it's not really like a for-profit venture in the same way that most tea companies are. I think it's more so they can continue to do what they're doing in Taichung in Taiwan. So you should definitely read about their mission if you're interested in supporting it. And if the content and tea or if that sort of format is interesting you, then I think they're worth checking out at the very least. Steep has a little bit more sharpness to it, a little bit fuller body. Yeah, and so this tea, a couple of people have commented that, you know, it looks pretty green, but the roast, and I wouldn't say that it's like a super dark or overly roasted oolong, but which is interesting because I don't think you need to be like a tea that's been roasted to hell to basically to be good to age. I think the roasting in particular is good at, and I mean, people can correct me if I'm wrong, is good at reducing the amount of water content in the tea, which I think is really important for the aging. If you have tea that starts out with too much water content or gets wet in the process, that's a good way to ruin oolong that you are aging. So it's interesting to look at this, and one of my experiments recently has been to sort of like investigate sort of oolongs and what you think may or may not age. And of course it's a very difficult question to answer because you can't just say, oh, I think this will age, and then run some sort of simulation and see what it would taste like in 30 years. So there's definitely some significant guessing. So to have something like this and for them to sort of recommend it is at least something that's very interesting to me. So it's a little bit less sweet, a little bit maybe more of those grainy textures and notes to it. At this point, the tea has just totally taken up the gaiwan. It's gotten increasingly more vegetal as it's gone on. The taste is mainly focused around the mouth. It has decent depth within the mouth. It's not a tea that's gripping the throat or anything like that. Yeah, it's similar. It tastes very similar to the aroma at this point. More of those vegetal notes have come into it. It's a very balanced tea in terms of like sweetness and bitterness sort of synergizing together. I think that just about concludes this InBetweenIsode on Global Tea Hut. Go check them out at globalteahut.org. If you are interested in them, they are doing monthly subscriptions, I believe, and you know, the magazine itself is a pretty well-produced magazine. I'm impressed with that at the very least. And they definitely do know their tea as well. Taiwan being a very good place to be based about tea culture and stuff like that. So thank you guys for tuning in, and cheers.